The Louisville Orchestra is kicking off a November to Remember with a list of star-studded performances, including Louisville's own Jack Harlow. Music director Teddy Abrams is here to tell us more on the big news. 2 performances only coming up with Jack Harlow at the end of November. It's always so great to have you back. Welcome back.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
This is so cool. I was so excited to talk to you about this because this is something that was arranged by Jack. You're taking his music and rearranging it in an orchestral setting.
Yes. Yeah, Jack and I have been talking about this for years now. This was a concept that we started discussing and then started building the concept out. And finally, Jack said, this is the time, let's just do it. He's the kind of artist that's always looking for new sounds. He's looking to grow. He's incredibly curious. And he also knows exactly how things are supposed to sound. So it's a great combination of incredible confidence, but also the willingness to try new things. And this is a new thing. I mean, it's new, not just for Jack, but for the world of hip hop in general. But this is amazing because you're going to hear the songs that you know and love from Jack in one giant suite. It's a huge amount of music, many songs, dozens of songs, and they've all been orchestrated fully. So all the power, the dynamics, the colors of the orchestra are going to build the sound world for each of these songs. And this is something that, again, you don't really hear at all in hip hop. It's not just unique for Jack's music, but across the board in this entire genre of music. So it's a very special collaboration.
The 2 performances are November 29th and 30th. So it's essentially the 4th leg, the 4th part of the No Place Like Home series of tours that he did all across Kentucky.
That's right.
How difficult or easy has it been to take essentially rap and transform it into an orchestral setting rather than say rock, because you've been here before, you've kind of done the transfer over?
Yes, well, each genre is different, and the Louisville Orchestra is famous now around the world for being able to work with any genre of music. So we did the great collaboration with Jim James, for instance. We've collaborated with Michael Cleveland, so we've done bluegrass and rock, and hip hop is just particularly suited to orchestral versions because the textures in hip hop are very open, and Jack talks about that a lot. He talks about the minimalist element of his music and how he likes to keep the textures clean and very specific. And it meant then that we have a big palette of the orchestral colors and sounds and instruments that we can use to then build on the things that Jack has already imagined and bring them to life in a very kind of 4-dimensional way, which is what the orchestra is. You know, you're getting, of course, the textures that you know and love from an orchestra, but then the depth across the board. There's this horizontal quality to what the instruments can do in an orchestra that is often very different than the way we might listen to a typical rap or rock performance. And I think that's what Jack was so attracted to. It's the power of the orchestra to build this immersion, and that's what this is going to be. This is a very dynamic concert. So in other words, it's not just Jack performing while an orchestra backs him up. This is something that he and I conceived, so that's a true collaboration. You're going to hear the immersive sound of the orchestra and then Jack's incredible performance that's wrapped around this. So it is a true collaborative piece of music that we made together.
You've already been kind of knee-deep in this. When will the actual rehearsals with him begin?
So we start in just a couple weeks, and we'll do a series of orchestral rehearsals to get things going, and then Jack will join us and we'll be rehearsing in depth right up until the concert. We're just taking Thanksgiving off and then we'll be back at it. But we wanted to really do this right. We wanted to make sure there was plenty of time to build the parts, to get the vocalists, because there are vocalists in this too.
Oh,
that's
cool.
a little thing, because there's a great backup vocal group that's going to be joining us, and then the full
is
orchestra.
It somebody that we know that you've worked with before?
It's a whole ensemble. It's like a small chorus.
Fantastic.
Because you have to have those parts covered. There are a lot of layers to this to build a great show that does justice to the songs as they've already been produced, but then also takes it to the next level of this giant kind of orchestral performance. So there's a lot of work that has gone into it already, hours and hours and hours and hours of arranging. But then when it finally all comes together, I think we're going to make something unique. This is not just a great local event. This is a national event. And I think that's what Jack and the Louisville Orchestra have in common. We're really interested in using the power of our music to bring the world's attention to Louisville, show off how great our city is, all the amazing creative people that are here. And that's one of the things I most admire about him, that he keeps putting that spotlight on Louisville. And somebody like him could go anywhere, but he's
giving
made this
back here.
Yes,
there is a give back to this. Proceeds will go back to Louisville Orchestra as well, and the educational aspects and all the great things that you all do right here in this community.
Yeah, that's a really important thing, that the Louisville Orchestra Orchestra's primary mission is service. We serve not just Louisville, but the entire state of Kentucky with educational programs, our concerts and community programs, dozens of free concerts a year. And so when you buy a ticket to Louisville Orchestra, it supports that. It's not just buying a ticket to a normal show. It supports the work that we do to bring Kentucky together.
And there also is there a celebration event the first night?
There is. It's the Saturday night. There's an after party.
There's a party.
That's right.
I'm trying to make it sound, I don't know if you're giving it a different name, but can you go to the after party? How do you get tickets to the after party?
You'll also check out our website. And you can just go to that if you want. But of course, we want people to come to everything. And
I know tickets are going fast, so get them all you can.
They're going very fast. Yeah, I mean, mostly sold out, but there are still a couple tickets available. So I would not wait to the last minute for this kind of thing, because it was.
Thank you so much. I cannot wait. I will be there for sure. Thank you again for taking the time. The No Place Like Home performances with the Louisville Orchestra happening November 29th and 30th. To check out everything there, to get your tickets before they are gone, go to LouisvilleOrchestra.org.